Hello and welcome back to You Can't Handle the Truth. My name is Natalie and we are jumping right into this topic today. And yes, you read correctly. Yes, we are talking about death today. You know, as we get into our 50s, we start thinking about this, right? And we're going to read what our fellow truth teller has to say. This is from a subreddit. I saw this and I thought, wow, I'm sure there are many of us out here that are feeling this way, thinking this way, and we're going to talk about what may be leading to these thoughts and also maybe what we can do about it, and then we'll see what some of the responses were. But I want you to engage with me. I want you to drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this topic, because it's really not something that we like to talk about. So here we are. Of course, I love to talk. I like to speak truth. So here we are. You know, it's not always the pretty truths that we like to talk about. Sometimes we got to talk about all of them, right? All these things that come up, these topics that kind of take away from the joy in our life, or can take away, but how do we bring it back? All right, so let's jump right in. I'm going to read you what she has to say. And basically the title is I find myself focusing on my death and sad by how little time I have left. Okay. And it says what the title says. Over the past year, I'm increasingly aware of how short my life will be. I am 58 and both my parents are dead at age 73 and 76. I keep thinking I have 20 years left, maybe. And I can't believe that's it. I'm just saddened to know one day I will go and I will miss my kids so much and I have to leave them. Yes, I know. Who knows how long I really have? And yes, I believe in eternal life, but this countdown just creeps into my head. Does anyone ever feel this way? Is this part of just getting older and facing your own mortality? If so, how do you cope? So I do feel that it's part of facing your mortality. And I think that happens even more when your parents pass away, right? Like, because especially when you're looking the age at which your parents passed away and you're creeping up there and you're getting closer to that age, you're kind of likening your lifespan to theirs, right? Or your grandparents. And so you're looking at it and you're saying, wow, this is it, right? This is the amount of time I have left. And I think personally, my thoughts on this are that I think that we feel this way because we live in a rat race. Especially here in the United States, we live in a rat race where we often don't feel fulfilled. We don't even have time to feel gratitude for the small things in life. We don't have time to be present because we're constantly thinking about the next day. This woman is not even in the moment. She is thinking about 20 years from now, right? So she's spending her today thinking about 20 years from now as she's working, getting up every day and thinking, oh my gosh, what is my purpose in this life? And obviously she has children. So that's definitely, for many people, that is a purpose, and that's a wonderful purpose. But did she have other things that she wanted to do in her life? This is when in our 50s, 40s and 50s, we're hitting our midlife crisis and we're finding out that, oh my gosh, I've been getting up, going to sleep, doing the same thing, cycling over and over and over again, going into a job, getting paid, paying my bills, and I've really not enjoyed life. So my thought is, like, we have to find a way to enjoy life in the moment, right? To be present. Because when you stay in the future, or if you live in the past, you're missing out on the whole moment that is now. And the truth of the matter is that we don't have any control over when that time will come, right? For some people, that time came when they were babies. For some people, it's not until they're 90 or 100. For some people, it's in their 50s, you know. But when we have those deaths that happen within our families, right? And those people, brothers, sisters, parents are gone, and you're seeing this is a time where people people who you grew up with, that they're no longer here, it really does leave you thinking about your own mortality. I think it's normal, but I think more than the mortality, it leaves you thinking about whether or not you really enjoyed the time that you had here. Or did you just spend all your time just living in a matrix, just running in a cycle and, fulfilling somebody else's business? I was just watching a lady. She's an HR. She used to be an HR representative, I believe she said. I will link her in the description box for you because I think everyone should have this information. Do you know that there's ways for you to be able to use your FMLA and your short-term disability from work if you have it, right? If you're fortunate enough to have a job that gives you where you're paying into short-term disability and you have family medical leave, which we all have the ability for that, but there's a way for you to get paid and take FMLA without being crippled, right? A lot of people wait until like something really bad happens, and that's when they're like looking into and they're trying to take this time off, right, to deal with their illness. And one of the things that FMLA and short-term disability covers is mental health, and a lot of us have mental health issues. Why are we not encouraged to use this time more to cover us, to give us that downtime that we need for our mental health? It is available for that. And I'm not the expert on this, so I'm going to drop her link down below. And for any of you who are thinking about this, that you can watch her video on this. But I thought it was quite peculiar that in other countries, such as in Europe, they have a lot of time off. Like, I mean, they call it holiday, and they are on holiday all the time. Every time you turn around, if you work, I work with a lot of I have a lot of coworkers that are in other countries, and they are always on holiday. Here in the United States, we are burnout. The cost of living is through the roof, and it's not in the best interest of your companies to tell you that you have this. They tell you that you have this time that you can use, but they don't tell you how to use it. And this woman is very good in telling you how to use it. And I think that, a lot of us actually getting into your 50s, right? Like you have family, parents that you're taking care of. You have your own mental health, maybe your own health issues that you're taking care of. Why are we not using this time that we are granted to our advantage? So anyway, I'll drop the link down below. I just think it's a different perspective. We need to switch our perspective. One of the things that I do is I love to, before I go to bed at night, when I get up in the morning, I start my day with like 3 things that I'm grateful for. I end my day with 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I know I've done videos on this before, and it's just what I do because it helps me stay present. It helps me remember that I am great, the things that are here in the here and now, and not be focused on what might happen tomorrow, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be here next week. I don't know, no one does. No one does. We hope, right? We're living on this hope and a prayer. That I think this is why people work themselves the way that they do, because you look at lifespans in your family and you go, oh, my family lived till 90, so I'm gonna probably live till 90, so I have time. And then you start getting closer to that time, and then you start thinking, wait a minute, have I enjoyed my life? Am I doing the things that really make me happy? Am I are you feeling fulfilled? Are you gonna get to this time when you don't even know what that day is, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I should have done it differently, right? And so the whole idea is to when that time comes, whatever that is, to go without regrets, right? And the only way to do that is to be present. The only way to do that is to be present and to be grateful for what you do have, and to make sure that every day that you are creating a life that's filled with purpose for you. And that's going to look different for everyone. Let's read some of the comments. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. And I'm going to read some of the comments that our truth teller Linda received. And I feel some of these, I read a couple, and then I stopped because I wanted to come share with you. Let's go. Someone says, I'm 55 with incurable cancer. I completely hear you, but please know that you are in a relatively good place to change your mindset and perspective. I hope you're able to. See, that's what I was saying. We have to change. It's a perspective and a mindset shift. Even taking time off from work. Like, do you know how many people I work with who are like, oh, I can't take any time off. Like, they need me. No, you need you. You need you to feel mentally healthy and fulfilled as you're approaching this time, or else you're going to feel like this. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, like it's the end. When am I ever going to enjoy my life? Right? And then here's the worst part. Like, when you have kids, what are you teaching them? You're teaching them not to enjoy their life, not to be fulfilled, because they're not even seeing you be fulfilled in the life that you're living, right? So then they are 20 years younger than you maybe, and now they're already thinking about death, right? What happened to the time? Remember when we were in our 20s, when we were teenagers? We didn't even, we knew that there was, that we're faced with the fact of life, which is mortality, but we also we never thought about it. We always think like, oh my gosh, we have so much time. So somewhere along the line, when we get in this rat race, the perspective change. We start to grind, thinking like we're working towards this thing, and then we get to a point where we start to realize, like, what is it really that we were working towards? Are we really fulfilled? Were we just working to fulfill somebody else's dream of what they thought things should be? And this is a great time to start diving into the creative endeavors, the things that you love. What is it? Find out what it is that you truly love and start diving into those things. They don't all have to cost money. I know things are really expensive right now, right? And so maybe traveling the world is not a thing, but maybe you start planning about how you're gonna retire. I mean, this young woman is thinking about how she's gonna miss her kids, but I'm sure she's also thinking about, hey, if she gets sick, like, what's the burden that's gonna leave for her children, and are her children even able to care for themselves at this point with the way the economy is, right? So many things that go through the mind. So this is very important to stay present and to stay grateful and to manifest, to be able to manifest the life that we want. We have to be present. We can't be in the past. The past is a guiding stick maybe for where you don't want to be anymore, and you might have a little bit of a guiding stick of where you'd like to be, but you have to be present to enjoy the moment. You can't be in the past or in the future. That's just what it is. Someone else says, if that's all you think of, you'll miss out on the time you have left. Exactly. Enjoy your life. We're only here for a short time. If you genuinely believe in eternal life, I don't see the issue. I don't. So this kick at the can is all I got, and damn it, I intend to enjoy it. I plan on dying with no regrets, and it's going well so far. Celebrate life, concentrate on that, not the end of it. Exactly. We forget to enjoy life in the moment. Somewhere along the line when we were kids, we used to laugh, skip, jump, play, and then we turned somewhere in our 30s. We decided like we weren't supposed to do, that's not what we're supposed to do anymore. We're not supposed to laugh. We're not supposed to play. We're not supposed to be happy. We're just supposed to grind. And then you get into this grind, and then you get into your 50s, and you're just like, wait a minute. All I want to do is live, love, laugh. That's it. That's what's going to make me happy. And of course we have to survive. We have to pay our bills. Yes, there's a reality behind that. But when you change your perspective about how these things happen and what you need and what you don't need to truly be happy, you have a complete mindset shift, right? Just like I mentioned about the how to use your FMLA, right, to get time off. Things that they don't tell you, well, because it doesn't benefit them, but it benefits you to learn about this. But you got to go out there, you got to dig for the information. And when you have the mindset shift, you will start to find these little tidbits of information that work for you to make you happy, to bring more joy into your life in a way that works for you. That's going to look different for everyone. Someone else says, yeah, 50s are a weird place. I definitely think about the time I have left too. What once seemed like an endless future of possibilities now feels like such a short window of time. Someone else says, I'm 51. I wasn't thinking about that until last week. I have 2 daughters, 14 and 12, and the younger one is only just about to finish primary school here in Australia in December. Then a week and a half ago, I got a diagnosis that has completely flipped the switch. Not sure if we're allowed to discuss specifics of illness, disease in this sub, but I will say I'm facing a full hysterectomy and chemo. We'll find out stage, type, dates, and timelines in the next few days. Now I'm scared shitless that I won't even see the girls through high school. I'm staying busy, sorting out paperwork, finding out time off from work entitlements, logistics of asking people to help. I just want to stop there. Look, now she's got sounds like a cancer diagnosis, and she's looking for time off work entitlements. Why aren't we looking for this before? Because they don't tell us, right? We just think that it's when we're completely sick, down and out, which our mental health, which I preach here a lot, mental health, you got to take care of it. And, a lot of us like to pretend like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's a big deal. Because when your mind is in the right place, you can shift your reality. If your mind is not in the right place, it's really hard to shift your reality and be positive and be in gratitude. Then your mind goes to the dark places. It's almost like being in the dark web, right? The dark place of like, oh my gosh, my life is over. But you don't know that. Be in the moment. And it's ironic that this came up here because I was watching that video I told you with that human resource lady that I'm going to link in the description for you. And I just thought to myself, well, why aren't we doing this, right? So many of us have responsibilities. We're juggling our parents. We're juggling our own health. And, I just think about this like as my mom was taking care of my grandmother. I'm like, my goodness, I could have used, if I had known this information, she could have used this information to help care for my grandmother at the end of life. Yep. And get paid, right? Anyway, but there's a particular way you have to do it. You need paperwork. That there are logistics to this. I'm not the expert on that. I'm going to link her in the description box for anyone who's thinking about it, because I think we need to start taking care of ourselves more before we get to that point where there's a cancer diagnosis. All right. So let me see. Let me see what other people have to say. I'm going to put the link for this. People were giving her, talking well wishes to those who are saying they're sick. One of my good friends had the same in her 60s. She is well past her 5-year mark with no recurrence or problems. Okay. She's talking about the diagnosis. Yeah, and here's the thing. It gets, some someone says here, I'm turning 70 this year. My husband died in July 2024. I'm very aware of the years I have left and of the health limitations I already see coming. And that's the thing, as we get older also, we have all these health limitations, like things that we could do in our 20s, we can't do them anymore. She says, I'm not afraid of health. I'm not afraid of death, but I'm sad. I won't know how things turn out in the world after I go, and that I won't be there to support those who depend on me. So what I want to say to that is that, right, because you do have people who depend on you, but here's the thing, if we can switch our mindsets and figure out how to, like, for us to depend on ourselves, maybe we can start showing those who depend on us how to depend on themselves, how to use the resources that they have to take care of themselves when we're not here. That's the whole idea, right? And you know, as far as knowing how things are gonna go after we're not here, so let's worry about how things are going while we're here, what we're gonna do to make the best of what we have while we're here. Drop me a comment, let me know what you think about this. I will drop this link for this subreddit in the description box. I will drop the link for the HR lady in the description box if you're thinking about taking some FMLA and you want to know how to do it and get paid for taking that time off. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. I look forward to hearing what you all have to say about this topic. I love you, and thank you for joining me on You Can't Handle the Truth. See you next time.